First of all, he's the most knowledgeable person in this race. He has the leadership skills, and he has the vision to be the President of the United States. And that's not true of everybody here. But what he represents beyond that is that he will truly make change our way, not the way Obama went. The other way around. We have a need to shake things up. And when we talk about the establishment, these are people who are good people. I mean, Bob Dole is a wonderful friend. But Bob Dole and Newt Gingrich served at the same time, and I was in Congress, I was in Republican leadership. I was there when the Conservative Opportunity Society was founded in the House. We weren't the majority then. It was a lone voice. There was this same mentality that Bob in many ways represents, that sort of steady as you go, don't rock the boat, we got to make deals, we got to get along, we got to do this stuff. And if you keep thinking that way, first of all, you don't do what we did in 1994 when I was in elected Republican leadership. We created, with Newt as our main leader, the contract with America. We campaigned. I was in over 90 congressional districts that year. And we won that election. And we would not have had either one of those, and wouldn't have won but for Newt Gingrich. And then I watched as we passed much of that contract. And we passed and became law, the welfare reform and the balanced budgets that we talk about. And so on. None of that would have happened but for him. And what the establishment, including the Wall Street establishment, not all banks, but the bigger ones, don't like, is that they want predictability. They want the steady as you go. I remember hearing Romney the other night say, I'm the steady one. Yeah. But you don't make big changes unless you do rock the boat. And they don't like that unpredictability of what's going to come up. And that's what Newt offers. He's conservative. He understands our values. He understands we need to reduce the size and scope of the federal government. He has the boldest economic plan, the most tax reduction of 15% optional rate, plus he eliminates the tax altogether on capital gains. I've always believed you. For years I've spoken of that, ever since the Reagan era when I came to Congress. It opens up the opportunity for more investment, more taxable transactions, the ability for us to see more our growth in the economy. I hear the other side of it. In that debate the other night, I want to come back to that point. Remember when all three of the other candidates jumped on Newt for the space ideas he's got?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I thought that was a highlight of the night, and I think it's going to be before this is over with, a big part of the campaign. Think about this for a minute. We, in my era, and I think we should still be, we renew this, the Republican Party ought to be the party of hope and opportunity. It's a handout, a hand up, not a handout. It's the welfare thing that you hear, the food stamp comment. It's all telegraphing the same idea, but we're the party of hope and opportunity. And that's what Newt remembers and represents in this. You don't just, yeah, we got to balance the budget. We got to reduce the size and scope of the federal government. We got to eliminate agencies. We got to change things in big, heroic ways because we cannot possibly continue to do what we're doing the way we're doing it. But at the same time, we all want a better America for our kids and our grandkids. Today is the 26th anniversary of the Challenger disaster. In the memory of Krista McAuliffe and the other astronauts who died, in their legacy, we ought to be thinking about what they gave and sacrificed, and many others have since, that we could be the leader in space. All of the technology, all of the advances in science, all of the leadership, all of the military, which a lot of it's secret, that we have been able to accomplish, has been because of the early leadership that we had from JFK through Ronald Reagan to make this space program work. Newt Gingrich is merely carrying on that legacy. He is saying to us, and he said it in the coast where I was with him earlier in the week, he has a vision of the future of space. It doesn't have to cost a fortune. It can be done by inspiring private enterprise to go out and do a lot of this, to reward like Lindbergh was rewarded for flying across the Atlantic, to get to the moon, to get colonies, if you will, because the Chinese are going to go there, we don't, and they're going to get there pretty soon. Maybe even the Russians will get back there first. It is absolutely essential that Americans see the vision of the future and have a leader who knows that we can do both. It isn't that we don't want to be careful, but to be the dour party, it's all austere, there's no hope, everything's bad. It's not all bad. There's a lot of bad out there. It needs to be corrected. What's bad is big government up in Washington telling us what to do with overregulation and too many taxes. Newt gets that. But at the same time, we have the greatest free nation in the history of the world. Sure. We just need to keep our military strength and not build it down like Obama's trying to do. We need to be able to say, these are our priorities. And we are going to have government do certain things that are our priorities for our national security, for our nation's future, for staying in the lead, for doing all those things. And all this other stuff, there are things that need to take a back seat. Let's get rid of Obamacare. Let's go back to having individuals have a chance to be able to have a patient-doctor choice. Those are the things Newt stands for. So you're out here doing something very important. Ronald distorts. He's got a lot more money than we have. He's going to continue to be out there being aggressive in this regard because he was scared, as he rightfully should, out of South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's a grassroots movement. I was with Newt. I introduced him at the rallies in Sarasota with 4,000 people the other day. 6,000 in Naples. 4,000 more up at the Tea Party rally or something like that in Lake County where I was with him. There's a feel. And it's grassroots. It means it's us. It's not the guys with all the money who are out here put their money on Mitt. It's not the congressmen who are afraid of change because they're afraid that Newt will rattle the boat. You know, when Ronald Reagan was at this time in 1980, people thought he couldn't win because he was too conservative. The truth is he can and he will. So thank you for what you're doing, Mary. I'm going to have to run out on you. And, well, I'll take the water with me.